So what's Gomez Adams, Wolverine, Tony Montana all have in common with today's guests? Well, they enjoy one of these. We got Joe Harris of the Cigar Nerds Podcast, and he's going to teach me the proper way to light one. So how'd you get into doing this cigar nerd angle? I mean, I grew up seeing the comic book characters like J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. As I mentioned, Wolverine.
Anything Stan Lee makes, someone's going to smoke a cigar or something.
Yeah. How did that all tie in together?
I was kind of bored and wanted to do something creative, but I can't draw or paint or do any of those. So I was like, podcasting, I can just talk about random stuff for an hour at a time. And I was really passionate about cigars, but I couldn't talk 2 hours about a cigar without it starting to be boring. So as we're kind of smoking and discussing ideas, we're arguing about movies and whatnot and geek stuff, games. And I'm like, well, this should be the podcast, not necessarily about cigars, but it's about the conversations we have while we're smoking cigars.
So you're here to teach me how to light the cigar.
Yeah.
So treat me like I'm 5 years old.
Well, first of all, we don't let a 5-year-old smoke a cigar, so you're gonna have to get out of the shop. But yeah, basically, like I said, step one is going to be cutting your cigar, and there's several different options. They pretty much all do the same thing. It's just personal preference. This is a double blade guillotine cutter. Is what I use most of the time. So here's the wedge cutter, which just kind of takes a little slit out. There's punches, which just pops a little hole in it. Anything all the way up to like single blade cutters, scissors. All these pretty much do the same thing. It's just kind of personal preference. And like I said, you'll notice like on this style here, kind of in the middle of that curve. And with these, you just want to cut just the tip.
Okay.
All right. You just want to pop the end of it off so that you get airflow in your cigar.
So you don't really treat it like a filter, and
No.
you're just smoking straight tobacco.
Yeah, because I mean it's sealed, so if you try to smoke it without cutting it, you're not going to get any airflow. It's just going to go out on you, and you're going to look like a fool. Which I've seen it happen.
Well, I do a good job of that.
Yeah.
Now I've seen some guys who actually cut them in half so they can save the other for later. Is that ruin it?
Yeah, pretty much, because the half that you cut off is just going to fall apart and unravel because it's not sealed together at the end. Yeah, it's always, if you want to share a cigar, just buy 2 of them.
Okay, so we've got the tip cut. Where do we go from there? Is there a particular kind of a lighter?
Well, this is like your old standard Zippo, which don't really recommend because anything that has a like lighter fluid, the flavor will actually taint the tobacco. So you want to use either your old school wooden matches or a butane lighter, because butane is a clean burning fuel. There's no flavor to it, no odor to it, so you're not going to taste any of that gas in your cigar when you fire it up. It's personal preference. Some people say don't do it. I always just kind of a quick toast, and that kind of helps you get it lit evenly, but you don't really want to hold it down until it's fully lit. And then when you actually light it, keep your flame away from it and just kind of use the heat. You don't want to put it direct flame because it'll char it too much, and you get like that burnt flavor instead of the flavor of the cigar. And also when you're lighting it, you want to rotate it so you get because it's not like lighting a cigarette where you can just and go. You got a big surface area to deal with, so it takes a little time to get it all into proper smoking condition. And look at it, make sure you've got a good even cut, because sometimes especially the bigger cigar you're smoking, you might not get it all. So if you need to touch up or something like that.
Well, you made that look easy. I think it's my turn.
Hey, we have smoke.
Well, it's all good. Now I feel like a real pro, a real aficionado here. I had no idea that the lighter fluid would change the flavor of these things, but I'm sure glad Joe came on, because I think the most valuable thing I learned from that night was that, yes, these things are bad for you, but 2 friends got to just sit down and have a nice conversation over a cigar and geek talk for a little while. We just need a good glass of scotch to top it off. You guys make sure you check out his podcast and like ours, subscribe to ours, or just comment, tell me how funny my hair is. And remember, follow me in that natural.